So hello everybody. So today we're going to make a breakfast treat. We all know that in Italy they eat mostly small breakfast because they have such a big lunch. And so they tend to have like a cookie or a piece of bread or like a sweet bread, but they're not really that sweet. So this is an Italian breakfast cookie that has apples and raisins in it and some almonds. Now you can switch it up any way you like, but I'm going to show you the basics here. Okay, and this is easy because you can do it in a bowl. You can just mix it up because there's no butter in it. It's made with sunflower oil, so these ingredients are a little lighter. But one of the things I've done to this recipe is I've made it so that it's even a little bit more healthy. So we're going to start with 300 grams of flour. So I have 150 of white, which is, what did I figure out? It's about a cup. It's about 2 cups of flour, but I will, when I write the recipe out for you guys, I'll give you the exact. Okay, so it's 300 grams of flour, because this is an Italian recipe. Sometimes I've got the time to translate them before the show, and sometimes after, but anyway. So I've got 300 grams of flour. I've got white and I've got whole wheat. Now, I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon, but because I used whole wheat, I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons in of the baking powder, because the whole wheat's always a little heavier. So I'm just going to put an extra little pinch of baking powder in there to keep them light. All right, mix that in. It's only 100 grams of sugar. It's only half of that I measured out. It's half a cup. So it's not that much. And I use organic sugar, so I don't know if you notice it's a little bit off-white because it's not bleached out and all that stuff. All right, now we're going to put in 50 grams, 50 milliliters of milk. We've got 100 of, this is sunflower oil, so it's nice and light. And 1 egg. So you know me, I don't need to actually, I had this out because I measured everything out. So I was running a little late, but I was in the mood to be organized this morning. Ah! Then I dropped the egg. All right, let's see if I can get it without shell in it now. Okay, good. 1 egg. The ever wonderful zester. So my nice washed organic lemon, I'm going to zest 1 whole lemon in here. Yeah, I could have done this before too, but you know. I'm trying to be a little more organized for you guys, not drag you on so long. I'll give you my recipe, you know. But let me tell y'all something. There's nothing better than fresh lemon zest right as you're doing it. Make sure you get the whole thing, don't waste. Now the recipe does not call for the juice of the lemon, but you know what? If you don't have anything else to do with that lemon, squeeze it in there. Won't hurt anything. Just adds a little more vitamin C. Zest of 1 lemon. Now, I brought an orange to show you that if by some crazy chance you don't have a lemon, use an orange. Orange zest is yummy also. Okay, now the other thing we're going to put in here is a chopped up apple, because this is going to give it, again, some more, health factor and little bites of natural sweetness that are not, coming from refined sugar. If you have your good little paring knives, these pare faster and less messy than flicking it with a peeler. Okay, that goes in there. I'm just going to cut these sides off. And I always cut these little end pieces here so I can get some more pieces in there. So I'm just going to cut this up. You can cut them up as big or small as you like. I kind of like them, small-ish. So just cut thin strips and then little chunks. So I hope you all had a good weekend. this is going to be my breakfast, which I'm going to have as soon as we're done here, even though it's going to be just about noon, because I'm skipping breakfast right now. I'm doing a 1 week fast, so I chose to skip breakfast, which I love breakfast. But I had I watched two different sermons in the last week, one from one church last week and one from this week, and both of them were doing, both churches were doing some kind of a fast to start the new year, kind of a spiritual thing. And I think it's like spiritual and physical, you know. It's good for you, your body, and it's good for your soul. So I'm skipping breakfast, so I'm not eating till noon. So I'm gonna enjoy these with my coffee at noon. Okay, so I've got everything in here. I'm just gonna take this off now. I've got it basically mixed, but I'm gonna use my hands now. This is not a huge recipe. It should make us, I don't know, probably a dozen. Well, we'll see. Let's count them. Now, a lot of your typical Italian cookies and desserts and treats and things don't have additional flavors in them. You know, sometimes they'll have a little bit of vanilla or some, you know, if it's a specific thing, but a lot of them are plain and they take the flavors from the other ingredients. You know, I've got vanilla here. You could put vanilla in if you wanted. You could put almond, because one last ingredient we're throwing in here, well, not one last, two last, is some chopped up almonds. Now you can use like the almond slivers. They're really pretty if you want to put them on top, and it makes your breakfast really pretty. You can just take, and this is completely however you want to do it, however much you want. So I'm just gonna chop up some of these, kind of rough chop. So you can put almonds in the dough, or you can just sprinkle them on top and let them be, you know, a tasty garnish. I'm gonna put some in though. And you know, almonds just have so many good for you properties. You know, they're protein and they're got all kind of good vitamins and minerals and stuff. Another good thing goes in here is like sunflower seeds is a good thing to put in here. And then the other ingredient is raisins. Not everybody likes raisins. I love raisins. But it's funny how, you know, some people just have this thing about raisins. I love raisins, and you know what I love? I love golden raisins. All right, let's put this in here. So I'm just going to put it, even the recipe officially calls for like 30 grams of raisins. I'm just going to put a little, you know, I'm not going to worry about. I'm going to put some dark and some golden because, I don't know, just change the color up a little. Get it more, my raisins away. My mason jar, let me tell you, if you keep your raisins in a jar, they last so much longer than they do if you just, you know, leave them in like that, you know, that cardboard container or whatever bag that doesn't get fully sealed. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my tray, and we're just going to make these into some nice, good size. You know, I'm going to make it a nice, you can make them as big as, or big or small as you want. I'm going to make them kind of palm sized here. So it's like a, there we go. So see that? It's like a size of my palm. So I'm going to put those there. But like one or two of these with your cappuccino in the morning, it's a nice little breakfast. And, you know, if you want to have one egg or something with it, that's fine. That's the American way. But really, truly, if you have this and then you have an early lunch/dinner, as they do over there, and especially right now because we're all home, we can do it. All right, so I got 12 cookies on this big tray. I have enough little bits in here that maybe I'm just gonna see if I can add them. Don't want to waste. That's like another 2 bites. Okay. Which one's the smallest one? Put some on this one. some on this one. These are kind of rusticy, you know, there's pieces of apple sticking out, pieces of, you know, what do you call it? Pieces of nuts sticking out, pieces of raisin. Just try to make it so that, you know, most of your stuff is not sticking out, that it's falling out. Sticky enough that you can make it happen. And they're going to be these nice big breakfast cookies. So those are going to cook for about 15 minutes on about 350 or 180 Celsius if you're doing it that way. I've got my cooling racks ready right here, so they're going to come out, and I'm going to put them on there to let them dry. Listen, let them dry, let them cool off, and then I get to take a little bit off the spoon. You know, you can always tell a cookie by its batter, the cookie dough. It shouldn't be sickeningly sweet. It should be just sweet enough to tempt your palate, but then it's got the apples and the lemon zest and the raisins that give it natural sweetness. And that kind of sweetness is so much better and healthier for you. So anyway, so as I was saying before though, so I'm doing this little fast thing where, actually let me look at the clock. Okay, I'm watch the cookies. They take a good 12 to 15 minutes depending on how hot your oven is. So I would check them at 10, 11 minutes. And then, because they are big and they're thick, so they often, depending, and again, it's all how big you make them. So I would say 12 to 15 minutes. Anyway, so I'm doing this little fast thing because I feel like we all need a time to just have a reason to give, to sacrifice something, to do something that's a little different. Whether you do it by yourself or you can get your whole family involved, let me tell you, there's some people in my house, there's no way in Hades that I would be able to get them to give up breakfast. But for me, I feel like sometimes believe me, I love breakfast. I love my cappuccino. I love my little biscotti or whatever I'm going to have with it. Or I do love avocado toast with some slices of tomato on top and one poached egg once in a while. I have a lot of different things I love. Breakfast is truly something I love it, whether it's really simple or if it's a whole big thing. But honestly, I have to say that from as far back as I can remember, not just as I've gotten a little bit older, I have a big giant breakfast and I just feel I need to go home and take a nap and start the day over again. So it is really kind of smart to start your day light and have a nice big lunchtime dinner. And then, if you need to take a 10-minute nap, all good. And then you start over with a nice little espresso in the afternoon and your day is cruising along all over again. I feel like I have 2 mornings when I do it that way. And morning's my best work time. That's when my brain is clearest and I can do the most things. So if anybody wants to do it with me for today's day I did it yesterday. Today's day 2. Well, you can start whenever. If you want to do 1 week of give up breakfast and just start your day a little bit later. I find that if I don't eat breakfast, as long as I haven't eaten yet, I can hold off. But the minute I take one bite of something, like this morning, I almost took a bite of something and I was just like, no. Because if I had taken one bite, I wouldn't have been able to stop. And then I just want to keep eating because it's breakfast time. So anyway, so I did the sacrifice that's the easiest for me, but I got to start somewhere, I know people that give up dinner or give up lunch. Oh man, I couldn't go the whole day. Like giving up lunch? No. And nighttime's my worst time. So I figure I'm going to sacrifice the thing that I think I can succeed in, and I feel like, spiritually it's good, physically it's good, and so that's that. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm always trying to do something new, and I feel like all the different things I've done over the years have all been good for me. Whether you do something now and you say, I'm going to have chia seed every day because it's really good for you. It's really good for blood sugar. It's good for weight. And it's good for a lot of things. And you do it for a couple months, and then you kind of slack off. Or if you say you're going to, drink a gallon of water every day, and then you do it for a while, and then you slack off. everything you do, even if you slack off, even if you give up, even if you quit, even if all of a sudden one day you forget, and then you keep forgetting. Because it is sometimes our daily lives just get in the way and we forget things. And all of a sudden I'm like, crap, I didn't drink any water today and it's 6 o'clock, you know? And it's just like, but your brain was somewhere else. So whatever you do and for however long you do it, it's still good for you. And it will be good for you for later too. Every little bit we do helps us along the way. So the big thing is there's some things you should do all the time. Like don't do a lot of sugar. Don't do a lot of white flour, white stuff. That's why like I made these cookies half whole wheat. You can do all whole wheat. It's a completely different flavor and it's really earthy and heavy and chewy. And if you want it to be a little bit lighter, half and half is not bad. I could have thrown some chia seed in there. This is a nice base recipe that you can just throw anything in. And like another thing that's really good to chop up in there, say you don't have any raisins. I love apricots. This is what I'm going to tell you, this is what I almost ate one of earlier. Because I'd taken them out and I'm like, oh, I love these. Especially when they're nice and fresh and they're soft and they smell so good. But I'm going to, oh, it is after 12. I'm going to wait. But anyway, so you could chop up some apricots. You could use walnuts. You could use any kind of nut you want. But whatever it is, you know, enjoy it as your breakfast, but know that you're being healthier. So to me, that makes me enjoy it even more. So anyway, all right. So that's your breakfast treat. So you make a dozen of these. You can put them in your jar next to your coffee pot because I have my espresso machine over there. And, you know, you can make your cappuccino and have 2 cookies, and it's a nice start to your day. It's also a really nice afternoon snack. Again, it's kind of healthy. You know, it's got whole wheat. It's got the nuts and the fruits. So you can enjoy it even then with your afternoon coffee. Just have one. I forgot to show you guys. This is my letter D. I have some patches that I had put on some of my old aprons, but they're in Italy. I left them there because I thought I was going back soon after, and I left them there. And I had the letter D patch put on my aprons, and I loved it. And it's kind of like the thing that I wanted to kind of start doing. So I've looked up the patches, and I've got some more coming too. But I found this really cute pin, and it's a little glitzy, and it's on my apron, and I feel like I wear my aprons every day, all day. I get up, and it's like my uniform. When I'm sitting on the couch watching TV later on, this is almost like a blanket and it sits on my lap, keeps my lap warm. It's pretty funny because sometimes I'm going to take the apron off. I'm like, oh, now I'm cold. So I'll leave it on, you know, it's my thing around the house. Like, you know, who grandma used to, you know, if your grandmother used to wear, my nonna used to wear a little house coat thing, you know, and always had them with the little snaps up the front, and the little purple flower. I remember the one specifically had little light purple flowers all over it, you know. But she wore it to cover her clothes to keep her neat and clean. But she wore it all day long in the house. Only took it off if she left the house. I wear my apron, and I love these black aprons. These are really sturdy ones. These are kind of professional ones, but they're comfortable. If I get a spot on it, I can actually take a sponge and wipe it off because they're nice and heavy duty. And so I figure, well, if I'm going to be wearing this all day, I've got my black t-shirt on, I got my cool leggings on, you know, my striped animal leggings. But I've got my apron with my glitzy pin. So, you know, look it up. You might get your own letter. I'm a D. I don't know if you're a D too. But anyway, this is it. It's got pretty little rhinestones in it, so I'm really happy. So you'll probably be seeing this all the time now because I just got it. So I'm really excited. So anyway, on that note, find your little sparkle today. Make some nice cookies so you can have a quick breakfast. You know, sometimes when people are leaving the house, you want to be able to have breakfast at the table. If you have something quick, so many times I would be making breakfast and the boys are like, I gotta go. I don't have time for that. And then real quick, I'm making them a sandwich and they're taking it out the door. So if you have something like this on hand in the morning, if somebody's in a hurry, they can still sit down for 2 minutes because you've got the cookies that are already made and they're ready to go. These also freeze really well, so if you want to make a double or triple batch, because this was really a small batch, it makes a dozen cookies, it's only a couple cups of flour. If you want to make 4 or 6 cups of flour and make a bigger batch, make 3 trays, then the next thing you know, you've got them. You can freeze some, or just put them in a real nice sealed tight and test them. Some people like them when they get harder. Some people like to keep them soft, so it's up to you. But if you freeze some, just double bag them in some freezer bags and they're good to go, and just let them come to room temperature. Just really quickly, I want to show you the cookies, the final product. So I just took them out. Look at these babies. They're lightly browned. Let me show you, let me see if they're warm. So they're lightly browned on the bottom, and they're nice, they're soft, but they're not, but they got like nice crisp outer exterior. We are going to, you know, get started with our day. This is my day anyway, just getting started, because I'm just gonna have my breakfast and I'm gonna have one of these babies. Get my cute little dish, put my 2 cookies on here. Let's take I always take the ugliest ones to eat first. They're actually kind of the funnest ones. Let's move this out of the way. My milk is frothing. And now my espresso is brewing. Oh, I can't even wait for the coffee. So, oh man. So good. That is good. You can tell that it's got a little bit of the weightiness of the whole wheat, and it has that nutty flavor. Of course, I got a little piece of almond, I got a raisin, and I got an apple all in that one bite. So quite a few. It's not that big of a batter that you make it that way. Today, here's my cappuccino. Oh, almost 1 drop, slightly. But I just want to wish you all a wonderful day. Make some of these. I'm telling you, they're good. Wow. This isn't the kind of cookie that you're, you know, going to think of like your typical cookie that's so sweet. But it is so sweet though. With the apples and the raisins and the little bit of sugar. Oh, so tasty. So many flavors going on in there. The edges are crispy. The inside has like a little bit of softness to it. I'm sure they'll kind of solidify a little bit more once they, you know, when they cool off, they do. But still good. So anyway, that's that. And I'm probably going to do another quickie live in a little bit and just give a couple other tips that are separate from the cookies. But anyway, I just wanted to share the cookies with you. Okay, have a good one. Ciao.